do you do what you do? What's important to you about what you do? Hiya, I'm Nikki Moran and I'm a coach for creative professionals, and I believe this is one of the most important questions you can ask yourself if you want to sustain a career or run a business for the long term. And let me tell you why. In the early years when I was coaching creatives, I noticed this difference in my clients. Some of my clients would come to me and we'd talk about what they wanted to achieve, and they'd go away and they'd make things happen, and that was fantastic. But then some clients would come to me and we'd say, I'd talk about what do you want to achieve, what's important to you, and they'd come up with all of these things, but they'd go away and they wouldn't make things happen. And with those clients, I felt like I had to put a lot of energy in trying to motivate them or trying to find different strategies to help them make their projects happen. And then I realised what the problem was. These clients were motivated by the wrong things. So let me tell you a little story about one client as an example. So I'll call him Mike, and Mike was a chef. And he came to me because he'd started a business consultancy helping restaurants to raise their game. And the problem was he was stalling a bit. He was a little demotivated. He was finding it hard to push his business forward. And so I asked him this question. Well, okay, so why did you set the business up? What's important to you about this business? Why do you do what you do? He said, well, the thing is, Nikki, for me, this is really important. I really want to prove that I can do this. I've always wanted to have my own business. And I perceive myself to be a bit of an expert, Nikki. So I really want to share my expertise with other people. It's very, very important for me to be recognised. I also want to be successful in my own right. And I want to have financial freedom. So these all seemed like really logical reasons. And so we came up with his ideal client, we came up with a whole marketing strategy, and he went away seeming very, very pleased. But he came back again and he said, you know what, Nikki, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just not feeling motivated still. I go away and I feel good in our sessions, but I'm not feeling it. So I said, you know what, we need to look at this differently. Let's go back to basics. What is it about food that inspires you? Why food? Why did you get into it in the first place? And he lit up and he was like, oh God, I'm just a food geek. I love it. All those different textures and flavours. And he told me loads of stories about all of these different intricate dishes he'd made and how he's passionate about it. And then I said, okay, so what else is important for food in general, food in society? And then he looked at me and he went, oh, do you know what, Nikki? It drives me crazy. There's so much bad information out there about food. There's all these ridiculous health fads and all these ridiculous diets out there that people are just frightened to make food anymore. They follow recipes, they drink these ridiculous healthy drinks supposedly, and there's so much bad information. I just hate it. I just really, really, really bothers me. And I looked at him and I said, I feel like we've got back to your passion, like your heart is in this. So with this, what would you really love to do about it? And he said, you know what, Nikki, I just really want to teach people how to love food again, how to love food like I love it, and to be creative with it. So he completely changed his business. And overnight he felt inspired and motivated, and he went away, he did his actions, and he made things happen because he was motivated for the right reasons. So it sounds simple enough, doesn't it? But in my experience of working with so many people over the years, it's so easy to fall into the trap of motivating yourself for the wrong reasons, and that's not going to lead you to feeling inspired or naturally motivated from your heart. So keep searching and asking yourself the questions: what's important? What are you passionate about? What do you really care about, that you love doing it for its own sake? Because then you'll get to the place of passion. And if this is interesting for you, there's an interview series I'd like to invite you to sign up for. I've recently been interviewed by a lady called Karen, who runs a company called Savvy Solopreneur. She's based in America, and she's passionate about this topic just as I am. So the interview series is about discovering your passion, finding your purpose, and creating a business niche that will help you to develop a life and a business that you really, really love. So she's interviewed about 30 different people on this topic. So there's lots of different experts coming at it from slightly different angles. So I would definitely encourage you to sign up. So I'll put the link just below this blog. And I also have a free ebook if you found this useful today. My ebook asks you a number of different questions to think about what your passion is, and you can get a copy of that on my website nikimoran.co.uk. So before I go, my last challenge to you is, why do you do what you do? I'd really be interested if you have an answer to that question, and if you'd leave that below this blog. That would be really interesting for me, and we can all share and celebrate each other's passions and do the work that we truly care about. All right, well, thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Everyone, spread the room.